The biggest turning point in Monarch, Legacy of Monsters Season 2, Episode 4 doesn't come from a massive Titan battle or a destructive set piece. Instead, it comes from something much quieter, but far more dangerous. It comes from a discovery. And at the center of it all is Hiroshi Randa, whose findings could completely reshape everything we thought we understood about the Titans, Monarch, and the world they exist in. What makes this moment so powerful is how the show builds toward it. For most of the series, Monarch has operated under the assumption that they are studying something ancient but ultimately observable, creatures that can be tracked, analyzed, and maybe even predicted. But Episode 4 starts to dismantle that idea piece by piece. Because what Hiroshi uncovers isn't just new information, it's a shift in perspective. At first, his discovery seems almost subtle. There's no immediate explosion, no instant chaos. Instead, it's presented through fragments, data, patterns, environmental anomalies, and things that don't quite add up. But as those pieces begin to come together, it becomes clear that what he's looking at isn't just another Titan-related phenomenon. It's something deeper, something older, and possibly something far more interconnected than anyone at Monarch ever imagined. What Hiroshi begins to realize is that the Titans might not be isolated creatures roaming the Earth randomly. Instead, they could be part of a much larger system, a network, almost like an ecosystem that exists beneath the surface of the world. And that idea alone changes everything. Because if the Titans are connected, then their movements aren't random. Their appearances aren't accidents. They're responding to something. And that raises a terrifying question. What exactly are they responding to? This is where Episode 4 starts to lean into one of the most compelling ideas in the Monsterverse, that the Earth itself may be alive in a way we don't fully understand. Not alive in the traditional sense, but functioning as a system where Titans act almost like guardians, regulators, or even symptoms of something bigger happening below the surface. Hiroshi's discovery suggests that there are forces at play beneath the Earth, hidden layers, possibly even entire environments, that influence Titan behavior. This ties directly into the concept of the Hollow Earth, something that has been hinted at before but never fully explained in this kind of detail. And if that connection is real, it means Monarch has been looking at the problem from the wrong angle the entire time. They've been studying the surface effects, not the source. For Hiroshi, this realization is both exciting and terrifying, because on one hand, it means there's so much more to discover. It means the world is bigger, more complex, and more interconnected than anyone realized. But on the other hand, it also means that Monarch is completely unprepared for what's coming. If the Titans are part of a system, then interfering with one part of that system could have consequences that ripple outward in unpredictable ways. And that's where things start to get dangerous. Because Monarch doesn't just observe, they act. They contain, they track, they try to control. But what happens when you try to control something you don't fully understand? Hiroshi's discovery suggests that those actions might already be causing unintended consequences. The anomalies he's tracking, the patterns he's noticing, they all point to something changing, something shifting beneath the surface. And the Titans might just be reacting to it. This idea adds a whole new layer of tension to the series. Because now, every Titan appearance isn't just a threat, it's a signal, a warning, a symptom of something bigger happening out of sight. And that makes Hiroshi's role even more important. He's not just uncovering information, he's connecting dots that no one else has been able to see. He's starting to understand the system behind the chaos. But with that understanding comes isolation, because the more he learns, the clearer it becomes that not everyone is ready to hear the truth. Monarch, as an organization, is built on control and secrecy. They operate under the assumption that they can manage the Titan problem, that they can stay one step ahead. But Hiroshi's discovery challenges that belief at its core. It suggests that Monarch isn't in control, not even close. And that realization is what gives Episode 4 its weight. Because once you understand that, everything else starts to look different. Every decision Monarch makes becomes more risky. Every attempt to intervene becomes more uncertain. And every Titan encounter becomes more significant. There's also a deeper, more philosophical layer to what Hiroshi discovers, because it forces us to rethink humanity's place in this world. If the Titans are part of a natural system, then what does that make humans? Are we observers? Intruders? Or something else entirely? The show doesn't give a clear answer, but it definitely pushes the question forward. And it does so in a way that feels grounded, not overly abstract. Hiroshi isn't just dealing with data, he's dealing with implications. And those implications are massive. Because if he's right, then the balance of the world is far more fragile than anyone realizes. And that brings us to the emotional core of his storyline. Hiroshi isn't just a scientist. He's someone trying to make sense of a world that keeps getting more complicated the deeper he looks. There's a quiet intensity in the way he processes what he's finding, a sense that he understands the stakes even if others don't yet. And that creates tension not just with Monarch, but within himself. Because knowledge comes with responsibility. And the more Hiroshi learns, the harder it becomes to ignore what needs to be done. The episode also uses his discovery to set up what's coming next. Because this isn't just a standalone revelation, it's a foundation. It's the beginning of a larger shift in the story, one that will likely affect every character and every storyline moving forward. If the Titans are connected, if there's a system beneath the surface, then the conflicts we've seen so far are only part of a much bigger picture. And that picture is starting to come into focus. But not fast enough. Because whatever is happening beneath the surface, it's already in motion. And Hiroshi's discovery might have come just in time to understand it, but not in time to stop it. That's what makes this moment so powerful. It's not just about what he finds, it's about what it means. It means the world is more complex than anyone thought. It means Monarch's control is an illusion. And it means the Titans are part of something far bigger than themselves. As Monarch, Legacy of Monsters Season 2 continues, this discovery is going to ripple through everything. It's going to change how characters see the Titans, how they approach their missions, and how they understand the risks involved. Because once you realize you've been looking at the wrong problem, every solution you've tried starts to fall apart. And for Hiroshi, that realization might be the most dangerous part of all. Because now that he knows the truth, he has a choice. Does he follow it, no matter where it leads? Or does he try to contain it and risk becoming part of the problem himself? Either way, Episode 4 makes one thing very clear. The mystery isn't getting smaller. It's getting bigger. And whatever is coming next is going to change everything. And now, that trust is going to be tested. Because when war arrives, it doesn't just bring violence. It brings division. People will have to choose sides. Loyalties will be questioned. And the sense of unity that has held the ridge together could begin to fracture under pressure. That's where the emotional stakes really start to rise. Because it's one thing to fight an external enemy, it's another to